Is the current geopolitical situation in the Western Pacific region as tranquil as the ocean's surface, or are there undercurrents of tension brewing beneath? Recent events at the 19th Biennial Western Pacific Naval Symposium, held in Qingdao, China, may provide some answers. The symposium, themed Oceans with a Shared Future, was hosted by China this week. Leading the Chinese delegation was Central Military Commission Vice Chairman General Zhang Yuxia. Despite the symposium's cooperative intent, General Zhang chose to take a more confrontational approach. One would imagine the theme of Oceans with a Shared Future would promote goodwill and cooperation, but the reality proved otherwise. The Western Pacific region is a hotbed of disputes, with China at the center of most of them, particularly regarding Taiwan and the South China Sea. General Zhang took the podium to deliver the key address. He asserted that China is an active participant in security cooperation and will continue to play a positive role in military collaboration. He cited China's participation in international efforts to combat piracy off the coast of Somalia as an example. However, the general's call to abandon the Cold War mentality and avoid a polarized world seemed more self-serving than principled. While China publicly breaks with its ally Russia on these points, it has no qualms about maintaining that alliance behind closed doors. This discrepancy becomes even more apparent when considering China's founding role in BRICS, an association aiming to shift the global economic order and replace the US dollar as the international reserve currency. Contradicting his own call for avoiding alliances, General Zhang took issue with alliances formed in the Western Pacific, particularly those involving the US. He insisted that disputes should be resolved through friendly consultations, but only with China holding the upper hand. The general further asserted that China will safeguard its legitimate rights against deliberate violations of its sovereignty, warning of firm countermeasures against perceived provocations. This hardline stance implies that any counterclaim by a regional country is considered illegitimate unless they cease all activities in the disputed area. Zhang's declaration that China would resolutely safeguard national unity and interest was a thinly veiled reference to China's ambition to reunite with Taiwan. He warned that any attempts to interfere with this reunification would be met with retaliation. But was General Zhang's speech appropriate for the symposium? Many would argue it wasn't. His address was more of a political lecture than a military discourse, which was disrespectful to the guests. It blurred the lines between political and military issues, a common characteristic of a communist system, but one that is not universally accepted. In conclusion, the symposium and General Zhang's speech brought to light the stark reality of China's stance in the Western Pacific region. Despite its rhetoric of cooperation and shared future, China seems intent on asserting its dominance, even at the cost of regional harmony. This approach not only undermines the spirit of such international symposiums, but also poses significant challenges for the stability and security of the global oceans.